Welcome into the Football Reporters Week 15 preview, or Week 15 review, Week 16 preview. We are coming towards the end. I'm hoping you guys are having a happy holiday season. I'm John Tuddy, and I will be your host today since I'm going to be flying solo. Let's take a look here, starting with Week 15 here. We're going to start with the LA Rams getting absolutely destroyed by the Seattle Seahawks 24-3. The game was not even close. First, I want to point this out here for Jared Goff and concerns for the Rams and everything and all that. The biggest problem with Jared Goff right now, from what I've seen, is that he has no absolute awareness of where he is on the field. He could not see Richard Sherman coming in and absolutely clearing him. He missed a wide open receiver. He threw it right into the dirt. It was an absolute disaster, I thought, for them. And I didn't think the offense for the Seattle Seahawks played that awfully well. I mean, they only scored 24 points. I just thought that offense of the Rams was just so bad. And whoever's the next head coach there, whether it's Gruden, Harbaugh, or Shanahan, good luck to you. You're going to need a lot of work to do with that Rams offense. The Miami Dolphins with Matt Moore, 34-13 winners over the Jets. Game was not even close. Bryce Petty got knocked out because of a chest injury. They brought in Ryan Fitzpatrick. He threw an interception. Shocked to no one. But good for the Dolphins. They keep their playoff hopes alive with Matt Moore. And you know what? The Dolphins have have a really good, realistic shot at getting into the playoffs. So that's good for them. And for the Jets, it's always next season. Always next season. The Browns go 0-14 against Buffalo Bills, 33-13. LaShawn McCoy, 153 yards and two touchdowns. Good day for him, and good day for him if he had it in fantasy and all that stuff. So, Browns 0-14. They're hoping to, and looking like they're gonna go 0-16. Rex might keep his job. Who knows? They said playoffs are busting early in the season, but I've seen crazier things happen up there in Buffalo. But, yeah, Browns go 0-14. Not looking good for the Browns here. The Packers almost blew a 17-point lead over the Chicago Bears. They barely squeaked one out, 30-27. They had a 27-10 lead going into the final quarter, I think. Let's take a look here. Yeah, they did. They had a 17-point lead going into the final quarter, and everything just fell apart with a couple of touchdowns from Matt Barkley to Alshon Jeffrey. Jordan Howard had a touchdown, and the field goal tied it up. They couldn't punch it in the end of the game. Aaron Rodgers just does Aaron Rodgers things, finds Jordy Nelson, sets up for the field goal. The Packers win, keep pace in the North, which is good for them because both the Vikings and Detroit lost. So this division is still up for grabs going into the final couple of weeks. The Titans pull off an upset victory over the Kansas City Chiefs at home, 19-17 after a field goal, iced fail by one Andy Reid. It's good for the Titans. Now they're definitely in the. I think they're in the running. I think they're the favorite to win the AFC South. Now I don't know how much of an accomplishment that really is, but considering the fact this team was won a combined 4 games the last 2 years, I consider that to be a step in the right direction. Bad loss for the Chiefs, though. Bad loss for the Chiefs. They're primed for the number 1 spot. I said it on the show, or I've been saying it, that the only threat to the New England Patriots, is going to Kansas City, because I don't think Denver's going to catch up to you, and I'm not scared of Oakland anywhere. But Kansas City was the one team that scared me going on the road to Kansas City because it's a tough place to play. Brady has not had a good record there, and now they kind of did just blow their chance against Tennessee. The Houston Texans defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars 21-20. Big story coming out of here. Actually, 2 big stories. Both of them is people being canned, basically. Brock Osweiler was benched for Tom Savage. Tom Savage came back and won it for the Texans against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Good for them. They keep their first place. And news coming out of this is Gus Bradley has been fired. 14-42, and 8 of those wins came last year. That's something. That's something for you, huh? Good for Jacksonville. Hopefully they can get a good, competent head coach. I think what they really need is a disciplined head coach, which is why I think even though he's older, I think Tom Coughlin would be perfect for the Jacksonville Jaguars because I think he can implement discipline because that's what this team really desperately needs is discipline. I don't think Kyle Shanahan will work. I don't think Josh McDaniels will work. I don't think John Gruden will work, to be fully honest. Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Bengals 24-20 after the Bengals had a 20-9 lead at halftime. Blew it. Absolutely blew it. The Pittsburgh Steelers scored mainly field goals except for one touchdown. They scored 21 points. They scored I think they scored 18 points on they scored 18 points on field goals. Really, and I thought that Mike Tomlin made a mistake at the end anyway because you should have just kicked the field goal instead of, because you would still have possibly won the game with the field goal. But I thought it was a big gap, but it ended up didn't matter at the end. Pittsburgh still wins, and Cincinnati's been officially eliminated from the playoffs. Speaking of teams that are officially eliminated from the playoffs, that's what the Philadelphia Eagles are. They're officially out after that hot start, 3-1, and now they're out of the playoffs. Good. Well, what they need is really need an offensive weapon. They need a receiver and/or running back. I don't know. I got to study the tape in the draft to study for that. But the Ravens, they win and they do keep pace with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that game tomorrow, on Christmas Day, is going to decide the division. It's going to be fun to see, and I can't wait for that game to happen. The battle of two teams that really needed this win, and the Giants win 19-6 over the Detroit Lions. Really sloppy game for both teams, I thought, but it's a good one for the Giants. Bad loss for Detroit since they wanted to. Because Detroit needed to keep pace, and now they're only one game ahead of the Packers, and they have a tough schedule. They got to go to Dallas, and they're at home against Green Bay at the end of the season. That's going to pretty much decide the division. The Vikings have been devastated by injuries all year, and they just got walloped at home, 34-6 with the turn of Adrian Peterson. Even with the turn of Adrian Peterson, didn't matter. 34-6. Andrew Luck had one of his best games, and the Vikings just trying to put away the season that started out so well, but it crashed and burned. Absolutely crashed and burned. The Saints defeated the Arizona Cardinals in a game that really both these teams will be eliminated anyway. The Cardinals have been officially eliminated from playoff contention. 48-41. Drew Brees just went off in this game. He had 389 yards and 4 touchdowns. And let's see here. David Johnson. Two rushing touchdowns, still over 100 yards of total yards scrimmage. If the Cardinals were good, this guy would be in running for MVP. That's what I'll say. The Falcons rolled over the Niners. What a shock. The Niners lose 13 straight games. The Raiders have taken back first place in the AFC West with a 19-16 win over the San Diego Chargers. Chargers just trying to forget this season and probably move on from their coach. And they're moving to LA next season. So, hey, you're getting two teams. And ready? One can't play offense and one can't play defense. So let's put them both together and we'll actually have a good team in LA. The Dallas Cowboys bounce back after that loss on Monday night. They win 26-20 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So it's a good win for the Dallas Cowboys. I won't say bad loss for Tampa because they're still a young team. I like Tampa. I like Jameis Winston, Doug Martin, Mike Evans. All those guys are really good. I like Gerald McCoy in the defense. I think that defensive line for the Tampa is really underrated. But Dallas wins again. They're 12-2. They're 12-0 against teams that are not the Giants. And they still have not clinched division yet, though. If they lose the last two games and the Giants win the last two games, the Giants can actually win the division. If we can actually believe that. The Carolina Panthers defeated the Washington Redskins 26-15. I think this essentially does not doubt Washington out of the playoffs. It was a bad loss for Washington. Carolina's not going anywhere this season. Man, it was a really boring and Washington had a chance to get to the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to make it anymore with this loss. So that's going to be it for Week 15. Let's move on to Week 16. Starting tonight, NBC. The Giants traveling to Philadelphia. The Giants are looking for their first season sweep since 2008 over the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think they're going to do it. I'm going to pick the Giants. The Giants are a really good, talented team. And I think that they're in prime contention to really make noise in the playoffs. I do. If there's a Super Bowl dark horse, it's the Giants. It will be again. The Patriots, I think, will absolutely demolish the Jets. The Jets will be starting Bryce Petty. I think they're just mailing it in for the last season, so I want to pick the Patriots to win that game. The Bears and the Redskins. I think the Redskins will bounce back after that loss on Monday night against Carolina, and I think they'll pull off a victory over Matt Barkley and the Bears. But even though the Bears have had a kind of a miserable season, there's some pieces there. I like Jordan Howard and I like Alshon Jeffrey. I think Danny Trevathan and what's his name? Akeem Hicks of the Patriots. I think those are nice pieces there. I think what they really need is a cornerback, and I think they need offensive line help, but they definitely do need a quarterback. Miami and Buffalo. If Miami wins, they knock out Buffalo in the playoffs. But I'm going to go upset. I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills to build the momentum of that win last week against Cleveland. That's not saying much, but hey, I'm picking to pick the Bills because I think I want to make it interesting weeks. I want to make it very interesting week 17 for that last wildcard spot. And if Miami wins, they kind of essentially clinched it, and I just want to see what happens. Atlanta and Carolina, I'm going to pick the Falcons to win on the road. I think that secondary for the Carolina Panthers is just terrible. They're dead last in the league. Julio Jones last time had over 300 yards. I don't know if he's playing this game or not. I'll look this up if there's any news on that. Riveting YouTube video here. Let's take a look here. Where is he? Julio Jones. He was limited in practice, so I think he'll play. I think he'll play. If he plays, he won't have 300 yards. He'll have 250. So good for you if you have him in fantasy football in your fantasy football playoffs. Tennessee and Jacksonville. I'm going to pick the Titans to win on the road in Jacksonville. Jacksonville is just a mess. An absolute 100% mess. Speaking of messes, the San Diego Chargers go to Cleveland. I think the Cleveland Browns will go 0-15. I'm picking the Chargers and Phillip Rivers. I have one of my favorite players in the league, Phillip Rivers. He's just on a bad team. Minnesota and Green Bay. I'm going to take the Packers at home. I think they're going to crush Minnesota after that embarrassing loss in Week 2 on the road. I think that's what's going to happen here. Indy and Oakland. This is going to be a battle of two really good quarterbacks. Indy's still in this division race. I don't think they'll win it, but they're still in it. Damn it. I'm going to pick Oakland at home against Indy. I think Indy's secondary just sucks. It does. Rams and the 49ers. Oh, God. Can I just say push and move on? Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. Push and move on. It doesn't matter who wins this. It really does not matter who wins this game, so I ain't going to pick it. All right? Both these teams are awful. Bucks and the Saints. I'm going to take the Bucks on the road. I think they're a really talented team. I think there should be a high-scoring affair in the Dome. I think that's what's going to be. Seattle and Arizona. I'm going to pick Seattle at home. Houston and Cincinnati. I will take. I'm going to take Cincy on the road against Tom Savage. Yeah, not really good choices here. Baltimore and Pittsburgh. This team, like I said earlier, will decide the division. I'm going to pick Baltimore to pull an upset in Pittsburgh. And then Denver and Kansas City. I think Kansas City will bounce back after that embarrassing loss against the Titans. Oh, I forgot to mention that the Patriots defeating the Denver Broncos 16-3. Brady didn't have really that great of a game. No one really good game story coming out of this was the defensive Patriots. Denver, I think they're out of the playoffs. I think they're just falling apart. I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win this at home. And then finally, the Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. I think this is the week that the Dallas Cowboys will win, and they'll clinch everything. Whoa, here we go. So I'm going to pick the Cowboys to win. All right, so that's going to do it for Week 16. Oh, wait, I got to do Fantasy 4, even though we're almost over here. Here you go. So your four key starts here for your Fantasy Football playoffs. Your quarterback, if you have Tom, go for Tom. Your running back, go for Jordan Howard of the Bears. I have a feeling he's going to have a sneaky, really good day. For wide receiver, I'm going to pick Mike Wallace against the Steelers. I have a feeling he'll have a good day against that secondary. And as for defensively, you can't really go wrong with the Rams defense this week. Actually, I think because the Niners are just terrible. So there you go. There's your Fantasy 4. Couple of picks that are unconventional in that, but that's the way I'm going to pick them. So for next week, I will be back here next week to talk about Week 17 and the new year and everything. That'll be happening on Friday. That will be a week from tomorrow. That's when that video will be uploaded. And then the next week after that will be playoff times, where we can talk about some good playoff scenarios. We'll also bring up MVP, Coach of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year. Maybe I'll get Chris on the show. I don't know. I hope I can. So I'm John Teddy. Make sure you watch Wrestling Fortune 44. Owen, my friend Owen, because if you're into wrestling, you watch his stuff. I think he's really good. I have no personal bias here. I will be on that show, of course, over the winter break. We'll be previewing the Royal Rumble, doing other Rumbles throughout the years, all that fun stuff. Make sure you like this video, subscribe down below, and enjoy your holiday and whatever the hell you celebrate. I don't care. It don't matter to me. And most importantly, enjoy your football, everybody. I'm John Teddy, signing off.